A few weeks ago, I asked what your favorite online PvP games were, and just look at this. You guys really came through on that one. So based on that and based on the hundreds of PvP games I've played over the years, today I'm gonna break down 10 absolute must-play multiplayer PvP games on mobile. Now, I've only included games that have decently fair monetization, by the way, but the number one criteria for a game to be included today was that the gameplay had to be awesome. So let me know if I missed any great ones, and let's dive in with today's first game, Raid Shadow Legends. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, of course. Could you guys imagine that? No, the first game is actually the card battler Legends of Runeterra. Unlike Raid Shadow Legends, this is an actual worthwhile mention because its gameplay is solid and it has a far better monetization system than any other collectible card game, like Hearthstone. Now, the actual gameplay has us battle it out in 1 versus 1 matches where we spend mana to deploy cards from our deck that contain a total of 40 cards. These cards range from magic spells to unit cards that stay on the playing field to attack and defend, and the objective is to be the first player to get the opponent's nexus down from 20 to 0 health points. The game takes place in the League of Legends universe, by the way, but if you're like me and you haven't spent thousands of hours playing League on PC, you can still easily enjoy Runeterra. It has a bunch of different single and multiplayer game modes. We can use the same account across PC and mobile. The cards all feel unique, and it's pretty fast to unlock new cards even as a free player. And it's all of this that makes Legends of Runeterra one of the best PvP games on mobile. And as a quick bonus recommendation, if Runeterra isn't your jam, you might want to check out Gwent as well, which is a really fun PvP card game that takes place in the Witcher universe. And it's actually also my personal favorite card game on mobile. Next up is one for all the Worms fans out there, because Bot Royale is a fun 2D artillery tank game with fast-paced 25-player last man standing battle royale game modes played in real time. The goal in this game is to become the last man standing by moving around and shooting at enemies. The only thing we can't do though is jump with our tank. But that is where our beautiful rockets come in. Because yes, rocket jumping is a thing in this game, and it is glorious. It really creates a hilarious arcade-like gameplay experience, and I'm just loving it. Now, since all tanks have the exact same stats, the gameplay is also entirely fair and competitive, and the game even has private matches and lobbies, making it a great game to play with your friends. Not to mention that the in-app purchases don't make you any stronger in this game, so the monetization is pretty much perfect as well, which is very rare, by the way, for these types of casual multiplayer games. Critical Ops is another great 5 vs 5 multiplayer PvP game, and one of the best and longest running first-person shooters on mobile. The team behind this game are also great at sharing developer updates and organizing community tournaments. So if you're looking for a Call of Duty mobile alternative, this is a pretty good one. The biggest downside is that matchmaking might take a bit at this point, but its monetization is focused on cosmetics and its gameplay is just good old fun, so it's an easy recommendation from my end. And of course, if you haven't tried Call of Duty Mobile or even PUBG Mobile yet, consider those as quick bonus recommendations. Now, I've always been curious about how to make indie games like Bot Royale, and that's where today's sponsor comes in, because Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of online classes. So if you're like me and you have a specific skill you're trying to learn, Skillshare is the perfect place to start that journey. From graphics design and productivity to photography, web development, and much more, they pretty much have something for any interest. As just one example of this, I just finished a class by Rand Fishkin called Introduction to Search Engine Optimization to prepare myself for the launch of my upcoming website and improve its chances of ranking well on Google. Skillshare is also completely ad-free. They launch new premium classes every week. You get unlimited access to all their classes with just one affordable membership. And here is the best part, because Skillshare is sponsoring this video, the first 1,000 people to use the link in the description below get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can explore their entire catalog of classes. So click the link below. It's a great way to support the channel and learn those new skills you've always wanted. And thanks to you, thanks to Skillshare for being awesome and supporting the channel. And now back to the best online PvP games. Because up next is Brawlhalla, which I consider to be the best fast-paced brawler on mobile. And it's also the best mobile alternative to Nintendo's Super Smash Bros. The game features over 50 heroes at this point, with unique abilities and weapons that we can use in the real-time multiplayer that even supports crossplay across PC, console, and mobile. Another thing I really like about this game is that the touch controls are great and they're highly customizable, but it also supports supports controllers, and get this, even keyboard and mouse as well, even on mobile. And maybe best of all, it has both 1 vs 1, 2 vs 2, ranked and custom online game modes, in addition to local matches and offline AI tournaments. But most importantly, the core gameplay is just really fun in Brawlhalla, and the monetization allows us to play with 8 free heroes that rotate every week, and then unlock the others using in-game gold or all at once via a single $19.99 in-app purchase. And bonus time, because if you've already tried Brawlhalla, you might also be interested in Flash Party. It has its own pros and cons, just like any other game, but if you enjoy the Smash genre, it's definitely worth taking for a spin as one of the only good alternatives to Brawlhalla on mobile. Now, I want to try something here. Let's see if you can guess this next one. Okay, so here are your clues. It released in 2018. It's a 3 vs 3 game. It includes over 50 brawlers to play as. Got your guesses in? Yes, I'm of course talking about Brawl Stars. This is a casual, mobile-like brawler with 1 to 3 minute long matches and a variety of fun game modes. What these game modes all do so well, in my opinion, is that they focus on just raw PvP with a single objective, such as collecting 10 diamonds as a team and surviving with them for 15 seconds. This creates a simple but highly replayable and fun experience that is also easy to get into for new users, while the many heroes we can play as help keep the game fresh and interesting. So the thing about this game is that you can buy in-app purchases to level up your heroes faster, but the free-to-play experience is still really great, and it's easily one of the best multiplayer PvP games to play with your friends on mobile. Next up is another great one called Rocket League Sideswipe, which is an incredibly fast-paced multiplayer soccer racing game, and also the official mobile spin-off of the popular PC and console Rocket League games. Just like in the original Rocket League, the objective is to score the most possible goals by racing, jumping, and of course even flying around the map with our jet-fueled vehicles. And then we just do that across a variety of different game modes, such as 3 different arenas, customizable offline game modes against bots, and real-time multiplayer ranked matches that include both 1 vs 1, 2 vs 2, and 2 vs 2 basketball instead of football. Playing Rocket League Sideswipe is also an entirely competitive experience, with no in-app purchases having any impact on how well we do. We actually just have to become better at the game through practice. Scary, right? But the big reason why I'm including it here today is that Sideswipe succeeds at recreating the same excitingly fast-paced experience that popularized and made the original so addictively fun to play. It also doesn't hurt that it has an almost perfect user rating score on my games discovery platform MinReview, so if you're looking for a hectic sports action game, definitely check out Sideswipe. Next up is Catalyst Black, and I'm including this one because it's a promising twin-stick action shooter that has been made by the team that also made Vainglory, which is arguably one of the best MOBAs to ever release on mobile. So in Catalyst Black, we control, aim, and engage in combat, much like in a MOBA game, but instead of predefined heroes, our attacks and abilities are entirely defined by the loot we equip, which includes over 60 different items. So this creates a lot more combat and gameplay variety than if we had just 10 or maybe 20 different heroes to play as. Another unique thing about Catalyst Black is that it includes 5 PvP and PvE game modes, each with unique win conditions. Some of these are just traditional 5 vs 5 PvP arenas, but others are much more advanced, such as the 24-player Eventide mode that has us control an ancient fortress, defeat monsters, and win PvE and PvP events, all within one long match played in a huge map. Now, the game's cash shop does give paying players a pay-to-progress faster advantage, but it's still overall a decently polished experience with several game modes that are great for some quick, action-packed fun on mobile. So, although it still has some way to go in terms of updates and improvements to the core gameplay, I think it's worth checking out as a casual PvP game that you might not have tried yet. In just a bit, I've got a truly unique indie multiplayer game coming up, but first, it would be almost impossible to do a video about multiplayer mobile games without mentioning League of Legends Wild Rift. And I know there are plenty of MOBAs already on mobile, but Wild Rift is easy to get into even if you're new to the genre, and unlike some MOBAs, its combat is nicely paced, with each match taking roughly 15 minutes, which is just perfect for mobile. And I gotta say, the lack of annoying pop-ups with quests and login rewards is also a very welcome change as someone who plays a lot of mobile games, and I've gotten pretty tired about those red dots and notifications at this point. Now, one of the advantages of League of Legends being as old as it is over on PC is that Wild Rift's more than 40 heroes are all well balanced already, which means we can easily compete with the heroes we get for free, while cosmetic skins and additional heroes can then be bought through in-app purchases. In my opinion, Wild Rift is by far the most polished, fair, and overall most promising MOBA I've played recently, so it's an easy recommendation to make. And as a quick bonus game, you might have guessed this, if you like MOBAs, I do think Pokemon Unite is actually also worth checking out, and of course, especially if you're a fan of the Pokemon franchise. But here is the indie game I teased before, because Exoracer is also the newest game of today, by the way, and it's a unique, fast-paced multiplayer platformer where we compete against 3 other players in real time to finish small 2D platforming levels as fast as possible. So it sounds pretty straightforward, right? Well, the thing is, we only have 2 minutes to get the fastest time possible, and we can continue retrying as much as we want within that time limit. And when the 2 minutes are over, the fastest player then wins the match. And I think what I like so much about this gameplay is that the levels are definitely tricky, but they're still relatively easy to finish, as the real challenge lies in optimizing our run. And this is where Exoracer truly shines in my opinion, because its gameplay is accessible and fun for casual players, but it still provides a hardcore and competitive challenge for the most dedicated players. Now, what could instantly have ruined all of this was if the monetization had pay-to-win elements in it, but the few in-app purchases in this game have no impact on the gameplay and they don't make you stronger in any way, so it's a perfectly fair gameplay experience. The very intense and fast-paced and highly polished matches easily make this one of the most exciting 2D platformers I've ever tried, so definitely check it out. The next game is T3 Arena, which is a 3 vs 3 hero-based shooter with a bunch of different game modes and a decent number of unique heroes to play as. Let me just be clear, by the way, that I know this game isn't without some flaws on its own. Its characters aren't perfectly balanced, you often get matched with bots when you try to play the game, and paying to progress faster does give a gameplay advantage. But even with that in mind, I do still think it's worth a mention here, because it is definitely the best Overwatch alternative on mobile, and I really wish we would have the actual Overwatch on mobile, but we don't, so this is the best we have instead of that. And if you play the game at a casual level, mostly with your friends, it honestly does provide a really fun gameplay experience. So there you have it, my friends, 13 awesome PvP games that I think are all worth checking out at least once. Let me know what your favorite is. Check out Skillshare to support the channel. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And subscribe for much more mobile gaming goodness. And then, until next time, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.